And good afternoon, all you beautiful people out there. My name is Anastasia Macdonald, and I'm live here again on Facebook to share with you my life story. Hello, all you beautiful people. Yes, it's me, Anastasia, here again, live on Facebook to share with you my life story. So I can't wait to see every one of you that have taken your time out to be with me this afternoon. So I'm here waiting, anticipating all you lovely people who will be joining me this afternoon. Good afternoon. My name is Anastasia Macdonald, and I'm live again here on Facebook to share with you my life story, Chapter 2, Part 2, zooming into my boarding school experience, the things that I encountered in secondary school, and how these things impacted my life, and how I am the woman of God today. Good afternoon. Hello there. I'm waiting for you. Lovely people. I can't wait to see you, to have you with me this afternoon. Hello, Nikki. Nice to see you. Welcome, Nikki. Oh, congratulations on your new baby. She is adorable. Congratulations. Beautiful, beautiful gift of God. Thank you for joining me this afternoon, Nikki. And I'm sure you must be very, very busy at this time. Hi. Such a gorgeous baby. Such a beautiful gift of God. You are truly blessed. You're truly blessed. You are truly blessed, Nikki. Truly blessed. So I'm live here today once again to share my life story, Chapter 2, Part 2. And I'm going to be zooming in to my boarding school experience. So we're talking about the secondary school in Ghana, how it impacted my mindset, how it began to shape even me more negatively about myself, poor self-image, and so on and so forth. So anyway, before we get in the story, I'm just going to wait just a couple of more seconds for those who will be coming on board, so I don't have to repeat myself. So lovely to have you on board, Nikki. Yeah. And how are you doing? How are you doing as a new mother? Oh no, you didn't. Oh, I'm so sorry. Then maybe I'm confusing with somebody else who has the name Nikki. Oh, I'm so sorry, Nikki. I'm so sorry, darling. So sorry. I know there's somebody on Pastor Sunday's platform that just had a baby, so I thought you were the one. Good afternoon, Oluwatoyin. Good afternoon. Nice to have you on board. Good afternoon. Today, I'm going to be sharing my life story, Chapter 2, Part 2, zooming into my secondary school experience. How this time really, good evening, no, it's good afternoon, Oluwatoyin. I'm going to be sharing how this time it began to impact me more negatively. I'm laughing right now, but it wasn't a laughing at the time. Good afternoon, Yomi. Nice to have you on board. Oh, ye mighty king. Thank you. And my hubby is on board as well. Thank you, darling, for joining me. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Anyway, I'm going to start. But before I start, I just want to take time to thank all of you who joined me in the beginning when I started this my life stories. I just want to thank every one of you. For those of you who were with me the second time, which was 2 weeks ago, where I shared my life experience in Ghana. And for those of you who are with me today, I know that Saturdays are busy, you've got other things to do, but yet still you join me here. So thank you so much. I really appreciate you. I really do. So anyway, can I please ask you to hit your share buttons, which are obviously you don't know by now, which is located on the left side of your screen, so that you can share this story with somebody else. And the reason why I say this is that I have been at that place where that one text, that one video, that one social content has made the world of difference to me. And I remember when I discovered Pastor Sunday Adelaja, I know how my life has been transformed since then. So please hit your share buttons, and then if you have any comments or questions, just put them down below, and I will get back to you afterwards. All right, so thank you very much. Anyway, so let's continue the journey. Hi, Jake. Nice to have you on board. Hi, G. Sandra. Hello. Hi there. So let's start the journey. Let's start the journey. So, just to refresh your memory, my life story is made up of three main chapters. Three main chapters. And if you examine your life too, your life is made up of chapters as well. But mine, three main chapters. And like I said in the beginning, chapter one transpires from the year 0 years to 9 years, which I shared in the beginning, and that one focuses on my parents, their move from Ghana to the UK, my miraculous birth, and then my fostering years, being a foster mother, sorry, a foster child in a white foster mother's home with other foster children. So I'm not going to go into that again. I will repost that video for all of you who missed it. I need to calm down. Hi, Euphemia. Yes, so that was chapter one, and then last 2 weeks I started the chapter two of my life, which is from 9 years to 27 years, 9 years to 27 years in Ghana, and I introduced you to this shocking cultural experience that I encountered when we were moved. To me, it was we were like as if we were pulled out from home, even there was abuse going on in home. We were pulled from home in the UK, and to me, it was as if we had been dumped in a new environment. So I share with you all the shock that went on. So to do with the bathing facilities, the toiletries, the toilet facilities, the weather, the food, the language, people's perception about us, how we were treated, you know. We were not treated as black people. We were perceived as white people. I shared with you my experience in primary school and how I was ridiculed and laughed at, you know, and then the caning and all that. And even to, I forgot to share with you about even the piercing of my ears, because at that time my ears were not pierced, so I was considered a boy, and how I was sent to the village to get my ears pierced. There was no anesthesia at the time. It was hello Ola, oh Lady Ola, hello Yetunde, thank you for joining me. So at that time needle was just pulled through my ears, and yeah, so all that experience, and then learning how to greet with different age groups, and then being forced to become a right-handed person, but I was a left-hand person, you know. All these things impacted me as I was growing up. So now we're going to focus on the secondary school. Now, just to remind you, in Ghana, home was at 5. Hello, Paul. Nice to see you. Paul, good news. Good afternoon. And so now in Ghana, my life story spans of, living in 5 geographical locations. Hello, Peter, Pastor Peter. Good afternoon. Welcome. 5 geographical locations. So I lived in a place, first of all, called Mamprobi. The second place I lived was Bubuashi. The third place was Salt Pond, which is the boarding school, and that's where I'm going to be zooming into. The third place, airport, and the last place, Dansuma, where I met my husband. So I'm going to start with Salt Pond. So now my 2 siblings are now living with my grandmother in the village, and I'm left, with my mother. And so I'm now attending a primary school called Premier International. I need to just calm myself down. I'm feeling a bit nervous, but hey. So anyway, so I've started, hello Charles, nice to see you. I've started primary school, and I've gone through the primary school system. I'm not sure which form I entered. But anyway, obviously, I started primary school, and I share with you my experience there. So went through all that up to upper 6. So we have lower 6 and upper 6. So it's upper 6 where I took, good afternoon, Lady Nkuru, and love you, love you, love you. So upper 6 is where I took my GCE exams. In Ghana, we have what we call GCE, sorry, not GC, sorry, common entrance exams, sorry, common entrance exams. So we do that in upper 6, then you move on to secondary school. I don't think, yes, Mamprobi, Bubuashi, Solpon, airport, and then Dansuma. You've missed out airport, Jake. And so, so we take the common entrance exams. Hello, Victor. And then you move to secondary school. So by this time, mom is still single. she's what has she got? Nothing much, looking after 3 children. And so she does the usual preparation to get me to secondary school. So I did the common entrance exam and I passed, and got into secondary school called Infantiman Girls Secondary School. Infantiman Girls Secondary School. At that time, I think you have 3 choices, and I honestly can't remember whether it was my first or second or third. But I do remember getting a score mark of 263 in the common entrance exam. And to me, that was so shameful, because people would get scoring 280, 290, and even 300. So even at that time, um, it was the score 263 was like so shameful for me, as if I was dumb, what people were scoring 280, 290. Anyway, so we're not going to move on to secondary school. Mom's done the best and done all the shopping and whatever, but this is where the story and the journey begins. Mom is not able to take me to Mom was not able to take me to secondary school. Now, Infantiman Girls School in Ghana is located in the central region, and the school itself is in like a forest area. It's in the middle of nowhere. It's located in the middle of nowhere. So number one, I've already told you, I'm a shy, quiet, very fragile girl. A lot has happened when I was in the UK. I'm literally a broken young person, young girl. And mom is not able to take me to my first day in secondary school. She puts me into the hands of another tenant, this guy, this gentleman, and says, take her to school. I hated the idea. I hated the idea that my mom could not be with me. And once again, as if she was abandoning me and putting me in the hands of somebody else. So anyway, this tenant, I can't remember his name. I don't know, maybe he was in his late 30s. So I remember the journey to secondary school. It probably took about, I don't know, is it 2 hours? I can't remember whether it's 2 hours or 2.5 hours, but it's quite a journey. Hello, I value you too. Hello, Gift. Yeah. So with this guy on this trotro or whatever, ramshackle vehicle, with my provisions and my suitcase. My mom even couldn't afford, at that time, she couldn't afford what we call a trunk. She couldn't even afford a trunk, and we were on the journey to secondary school. Oh gosh, oh gosh. If only parents know what goes in the mind of children. Even though children cannot talk, there's a lot that go in our minds. I wish parents would take time to talk with their children. I wish, especially African parents, especially African, and I say this not to devalue or to disrespect any parent. I just want you to see things from a young person's view of how things can really impact them, and impact them, as we've heard from Pastor Sunday Adelaja, the series that he's doing now, even the men's series and the girls series. So anyway, so we got to Infantiman for the first time. Like I said, it's in this secluded forest area. Can you imagine? Big, massive place. And obviously, the tenant has to leave me and go. I'm there. Can you imagine? I'm there by myself. No mother, no father. Very intimidating. And I get baptized with something we call it's called homoing. I don't know whether we in Nigeria you have this experience, but basically it's bullying. It is bullying. So once I got there and there was nobody else, one of the seniors took me, put a nightgown on me and wrapped something around my head, and I was being baptized into secondary school. I couldn't talk. Well, who could I talk? Who could I cry out to? I was there by myself. So that was the first. It was very frightening for me. I felt so alone. I felt so abandoned. And the feelings of rejection, and I think I mentioned in the beginning, the feelings of rejection and abandonment were increasing at the time. But at that time, I didn't know that. I didn't know that these things were forming in my mind. These negative mindsets were being formed in my mind. So I felt that all alone. So that was the night That was the first night. So I had these seniors, these seniors, they bully you. Literally, is bullying. Yeah, it cannot be, watered down, or it's not fun. And I'm not the only one it happens to. They do it to all first year pupils in secondary school. So that was the night. And then obviously I was taken to my house, which was called Chinry House. I think there are five at the time. I can't remember whether there were three or four houses in secondary school. I remember Chinry House, Butler House, Scotland, and Engman. But I think they've added two more. But they've added more. There's more than the four at the time. So there was Chinry, Butler, Engman, and Scotland. I think all these were named after white missionaries that built the secondary school. Most of the secondary schools in those days were built by white missionaries. A white missionary. So anyway, so taken to my house. You know how it is. We've got the bunk beds, and the senior sleeps on the bottom and you sleep at the top. So that is where I am right now, feeling so all alone. And once again, I'm being introduced to another shocking cultural environment already. It's just too much. So that's that. So I'm going to be looking down at my notes so I can refer to this thing. So I've talked to you, number one, about being sent to school with a tenant instead of having my mom with me, which I would have loved so much, for her to be with me. And then I talk about what do you call it, the night, the homing, the loneliness. And now I'm going to focus on the first year. First year was a whirlwind. I honestly don't remember much that was going on, only about the difficulties that I encountered with the subjects. At this time, you're learning French, English literature, mathematics, so many. I think we've got about, is it 17 subjects, either 14 or 17 subjects that we are studying. And hello, Fleur. Yeah, 17 subjects, Lady Nkuru, at the time. And just imagine, I'm not coping. I'm trying. I'm not coping. I'm not coping simply because my mom is not there. My dad is not there. There's nobody there to give me that emotional support. There's nobody to tell me that, Anastasia, don't worry, I'm there for you. You can do it. Don't worry. This is only a phase. It is a phase you need to go through. This is, somebody to speak words of encouragement all the time. But basically, I felt like, my mom had just dumped me in this place and left me all there by myself to struggle. So because I don't talk, or because I couldn't talk at the time, a lot of stuff was going in my head. And people used to take advantage of me. Now, in secondary school, we have another thing that was happening. I don't know whether it happened in Nigeria. We have Supi. Supi, when I think about it, is lesbianism. It's pure lesbianism to the highest degree that goes on in secondary school. So for people that send their children to boarding school and think, they are going to get the best of their world, trust me, they are introduced into a whole lot of pardon me, a whole lot of other stuff that goes on in secondary school. Now, let me explain. Supi is well, like I said, it's lesbian. So the seniors go hunting for the juniors to have girlfriend relationships. Yes, Nikki. Yes. So the seniors, and you know what? It was acceptable. Nobody really questioned. It was the culture within secondary school. Now, when the school that I went to was a girls' school. I'm not sure what happened in boys' school. Good afternoon, Euphema. Good afternoon, Tanya. I'm live today on Facebook sharing my life story, chapter 2, part 2, my boarding school experience. I hate boarding school. I really hated boarding school. So there's this soupy lesbian thing going on in the school. But for me, I guess either it's because God's hand was upon my life that I didn't know about, or because of my quiet personality, nobody came to ask me to be their soupy, but it was, it was going on all around. It was going on and on, especially, the weekends. We had this thing they would do. The seniors will build up tents and the girls will go in there and whatever they would do in there. But obviously we knew stuff that went on in there. We're not dumb, you know. Anyway, so I didn't have that. And in some, even though I didn't have a soupy, once again, I felt like, oh gosh, because, you know, it's Anastasia, poor Anastasia, common Anastasia. These are the things that were forming in my mind. Poor Anastasia, common Anastasia, no good Anastasia, ugly Anastasia, abandoned Anastasia, nothing for Anastasia. Those things, when I look back, those were the tapes that were recording in my mind. So I remember Pastor Sandy was talking about patterns and habits. So the pattern or the tape that was being formed in my mind was oh, for you too, Flair. Yes. So that the patterns that were the tapes and the patterns that were being recorded and established in my mindset were those. So now we have, what do you call it? I'm there by myself. I'm there by myself. But we have what we call visiting times. Visiting times happens on Saturdays. Every Saturday, parents are allowed to come and visit their children. So you have parents that come with, you know, with lovely food. They've cooked delicious food, and they come with provisions, coming to visit their children. But who comes to visit Anastasia? Nobody. I'm not lying to you. Nobody comes to visit Anastasia. And on Saturdays were the most painful times in secondary school. So you can understand why I was beginning to hate boarding school. It was enforcing the belief that I'm not special, I'm nobody. Now, I have said to you that my mom, I do not hold anything against her. As a single mother, she did what she had to do at the time with what she had. But I wish she had come to visit. I wish she had come to visit. I wish she had come to visit. And so I would watch as, you know, in the dormitory, where they'll come and call you. Let's say, oh, Yetunde, you've got visitors, your parents are here, and off they go. Oh, Brenda, your parents are here, and then off they go. Oh, Sandra, your parents are here, then off they go. But was there a call out for Anastasia? No, there wasn't. There wasn't. My mom, the only time I remember my mom coming to visit was, I think, in Form 5. The Form 5, even can't remember why even she came. That was the last, you know, that was the first and the last time she came to visit. And then again, I do remember there was probably 2 occasions where my grandmother sent somebody to drop, to, you know, gave money to the gate man to give to me. That I do remember. But practically the 5 years I was in secondary school, I was there by myself. So you tell me, oh, you're late, Esther, but good to have you on board. Thank you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So 5 years, you tell me, somebody who's been born in the UK with a white foster mother, not with their parents, the mindset is that is being recorded then. You're introduced to a new culture. Your siblings have to be sent, you know, to their grandmother. You're there by yourself. What is being recorded in the mindset then? And now secondary school, you're there by yourself. Nobody comes to visit you. What is being recorded in your mind then as a young child? Parents, what is being recorded in the mindset of the child, you know, at that time? So Saturdays were like horrible. And you know, I felt embarrassed. I felt ashamed that, you know, that nobody would come and visit, you know. Flair, you have the same story too. I would love to hear your story. I would love to hear your story, Flair. I'm gonna call you. We'll talk. So so that time it was just horrible. And then obviously my makeup, or my set, or the things that I brought with myself also didn't speak of somebody who was special. You know, I was a child of a single mother, so I didn't have the posh things that were going on for children who were privileged. You know, I didn't have all those things going on. If parents would only know. Anyway, so I'm going through this system. Anyway, so anytime it was for vacation, I'll be happy that I'm going home, because I'm coming out of this horrible environment. At least I'm going to be with my mom. So honestly, I hated new terms. New term. I hated going back to school. I hated going back to secondary school. But I couldn't tell my mom. I could not I could not sit down and express all the things that I was going through in secondary school. And I guess our parents of that generation, they didn't know how to relate to the children. As Pastor Sandy keeps on sharing with us, a lot of us are carrying baggages from our childhood, even though we are born again, even though we speak in tongues, even though we go to church Sunday after Sunday. We're carrying baggages, but the church doesn't teach us how to deal with the stuff, like how Pastor Sunday is teaching us right now. So anyway, I just hated resuming secondary school. Oh my goodness. If I could, I would have delayed going back. I would have delayed going back, but I always had to go back. And guess what? When we resume secondary school, all those, we call them the mama bars and the dada bars, have traveled. So they've gone to the UK, or they've traveled to abroad, whatever, and they come back with their stories, and I did this, and had that, and I've got this, and I've got that, and my daddy this, and my mommy that, and my uncle this, and my, oh, I don't have a story to share. I don't have a story to share. What have I got to share? I've got nothing. So I would just sit there and feel so isolated and feel so lonely and feel so embarrassed and think that, yes, I was born in the UK, but I've got nothing to share with these people, you know. And obviously we had some of those who would literally lie. They didn't travel anywhere. I knew them, but they will brag. They will come and brag and make you feel that yes, they too listen. But I couldn't do that, So that was very humiliating, debasing for me. It's not nice. It's a horrible. It's very, very horrible. So anyway, talking about what do you call it? I just want to talk about in the classroom. In the classroom, obviously, I was very, 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 very quiet. I didn't contribute in the classroom. I just sit there quietly, whether I understood the subject or I did not understand the subject. So I would suffer quietly because I did not understand a concept or another. I couldn't talk to people. I couldn't talk to I couldn't raise my hands and say to the teacher, I don't understand this. So everything was held inside of me. There was a lot of talking in my head, but not coming out, verbally. One thing that I excelled in was art. I'm an artistic person. I'm creative, but the school system, even today, is better. The school system back then did not celebrate artistic people. You had to be the academic mathematical person, or English person, or science. Those were the three main areas that were celebrated. But for the rest, if you're artistic, it was not even recognized. So I just want to pause here and say, especially to parents, please take the time to study your children's inclinations. Please take the time to study what your children are good at, where they excel, and please encourage them in that area. I've wasted so many years. That I think is going to be another story. I've wasted so many years not developing who I really was, this artistic, creative person. I've wasted so it's so painful. But the only thing that I encourage myself is that God is the restorer. He is the restorer, and He's the redeemer of lost time and lost property. That's the only thing I can encourage, and He will give you double for your trouble. So I'm excited there. So that will be another story. I have gone back into my creativity, who I really am. I'm doing my creative stuff, but at the time, it was not celebrated. it was if it was muffled. The enemy, when the enemy knows that you have a destiny, he will try all manner of means to kill you, the same way he tried to kill Jesus so many times. Even for my birth, if you listen to part one of my story, even then I was I was being terminated, but because God's hand was on my life, I have lived, and I live to today. I live today. I live to give him praise. So this life story I'm doing, I'm not just telling a story, I am telling you where God has taken me from the dump to the palace. I'm still on that journey. That is where so please, parents, take time for your children. Get to know what their strengths are. Get to know what they love doing, and put them in after schools, clubs, and don't force them to be a doctor. Don't force them to be a lawyer. Don't force them to be a scientist if that is not their inclination. Let them be who God has called them to be. Anyway, I'm diversing a bit. So we're back into secondary school there. So I really struggled academically. I really, really, really struggled academically. I wish I had after yes, you can look at me now. I wish I had a tutor that would just take me by, that would understand the emotional trauma that was impacting my studies. I wish I had that. Today in the UK we have those kind of teachers that support children in that area, but I wish I had that going on for me. But hey, you know what, it's made me who I am today, and I'll talk more about who I am towards it. I don't want to give too much away because we're on a journey here. Anyway, so that is that. Now, being mindful of time. Now, the most painful aspect of me in secondary school, apart from my mom not visiting, apart from my mom and not having no visit, was the loss of my dad. And I'm not talking about physical death. Not having my dad. If daddies know the role they have in their daughter's life and what they miss out on, if only they knew. I miss my dad like crazy. I wouldn't cry out verbally. I will cry inside. I cried so much within me. I miss my dad so much within me. Pastor Sunday talked about when you see prostitutes or you see women that bear themselves naked, is a cry for attention. But my cry was a cry for my daddy. It was a cry for I wanted my dad. But you know what? Because of what had happened, I did not hear from my dad from the age of 9 until I turned, I think it was 30. Was it 30? I think 30. When I'm going ahead of myself. Anyway, so it was so bad that, oh my goodness, if only people can hear children's thoughts, if we can hear the thoughts that are going on in our children. And that's why I will continue advocating the protection of children, the care of children, because of what I went through. Anyway, so there's one time at this time I didn't know where my dad lived. Obviously I knew he was in the UK, but I didn't know his address. But somehow, some way, some means, I can't remember how, I managed to find his address, and I wrote him a letter. Those days, you remember, we used airmail, the paper, the blue paper, what do you call it, envelope. Pardon me. So I managed to get his address and wrote him a heartfelt letter. That, Daddy, where are you? Why have you abandoned us? There's nobody here with me. Do you not care? Is it because of this new woman that you have? Because at that time, my dad had remarried. I said, is it because of what do you call it? Is it because of this new woman you had? And I obviously can't. In fact, I have the letter somewhere hid. I forgot. In fact, I would have taken the letter out and read it out for you word for word. Probably I may do it next time. But I wrote that letter in anger, in desperation, in frustration, in fear, in loneliness, all that you can talk about. And I emptied myself and sent that letter off. But I did not get a reply. I saw that letter many years. When I came back to the UK, that's when my dad pulled that letter and showed it to me, but I didn't get a reply. And so, you know what? I wonder why I myself did not get messed up with boys. I did not get messed up with men. That's one aspect of my life. I really thank God that I did not um I did not what do you call it, sell myself to boys, because that was an easy avenue for me to seek attention, to seek help. I would have slept around with so many boys, but that wasn't my part. I never got involved in that. And I'll talk about the two boyfriends that I did have until I met my husband. So I only had two boyfriends, but I'll talk about that later. So I cried and cried and cried and cried and cried and cried and cried inwardly. Inward crying is not good. You have to cry. You need to release the pent-up emotions that are in you. It's not good to carry these things around you. As we've learned, these things can cause cancer and so on and so forth. But anyway, God's hand was on my life. And then, so that was that. The pain, as I said, was all the things that happened, not having visitors. The second was not having my dad. The third was not having my mom, nobody to come and visit. And now the next one, this one was when in Ghana, I don't know about in Nigeria, we have what we called interschool sports things. We have this intersports day, yeah, intersports things that we do. Anyway, so there was one time Infantsman was competing with another school, and so we go to this other school to have these athletics days, like athletics or sports things going on. So different schools will be competing with other schools. So I was there, and unfortunately an argument. Good afternoon, Roseanne. Good afternoon. So unfortunately an argument broke out between two schools, and then there was a riot. So before I knew it, there was everything being thrown into house sports. Yes, in Kuru. Yes, Lady in Kuru, into house sports. Yes. And then before I knew it, there was, good afternoon, Patricia. So before I knew it, there was everything in the air. There were chairs, tables, anything that you can imagine was being thrown into the air and scuttling. And there was a big fight at this place. And I don't know, I looked down for a second, and there was a big gash on my right arm, a big gash, and there was blood just flowing. And when I looked down again, the bone was sticking out, but I didn't feel anything. And so in short, yeah, Lady Nkuru, the bone was sticking out. And before I knew it, I was rushed to the hospital in this, I've forgotten the name. I was rushed to a hospital there and attended to. But meanwhile, at this time, I wrote to my mom to let her know what had happened. But unfortunately, mom did not come. Mom did not come. And once again, I don't know. I really don't know why I don't hold grudge against my mom. And I think it's because I believe that God's grace was on my seemingly something, because it doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. But anyway, mom didn't come. And so this way, I don't know whether you can see. I'll try to try to show it to the camera. Oh, hold on a second. I'll try and show you this. This is it. I don't know whether you can see. That's it there. The bone is still sticking out there. The stitches are here. I'm not sure whether you can see. There we go. That's it there. Yeah, there we go. So this is where it happened. This is where they sewed up, and these are the stitches you can see here. And so that happened, and mom didn't come, and I was like, oh my God. So people, can you now see, can you begin to understand what is forming in my mind? If my mom cannot visit me when I've had a serious accident like this, then I'm nobody. I'm nobody. I'm nothing. I'm not special. I'm not worth it. I'm horrible. And so what is the tape that is playing? Abandonment. rejection, not worthy, ugly, so on and so forth. Those are tape. I can tell you this now, but at the time, I didn't know that this was a tape being formed in my mindset. I didn't know that this is what is being formed in my mindset. And you know what? Once again, it was very embarrassing because obviously the other students would know when your parent has come to visit. They would know. But they seeing that, look at this one. She is nothing. And you know the secondary schools, you know the class system. The class system, or the how do you call it? The how do you call it again? We're different groups. We have different groupings, it's everywhere, in the workplace, in the church, the cliques. Yeah, the cliques, the clique system. So for me, my clique is in the nobody clique zone. That's yes. My clique is the no clique, no special department. So you know what, I really have, I know I'm jumping ahead of myself, I really have a soft spot for people who feel they're not special, people who feel they don't have it together, people who feel that they're not talented, people who feel they're not beautiful, people who feel they haven't got this. I have a soft spot for them, and I will defend them like no man's business. If you mess up with somebody, if you try to bully somebody, if you try to make somebody feel they are trash, trust me, as much as I'm a quiet person, you will see the lioness in me. You will see the lioness. This is some of the makings of the real Anastasia as a result of my life experience. So that was to do with the accident, which really, 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 really impacted. So at this time, I hated boarding school with a passion. I saw boarding school as a place where you dump children, you dump people. I saw it as a place where I saw it as a place where how do I tell it? I saw it as a place where if you want to get children out of the way, then you put them there. That was my mindset. It wasn't a place to learn. It wasn't a place to study. It wasn't a place to improve yourself, because a lot was going on in there. A lot happened in secondary school, and so I could not wait to the time that I did not have to go back. Now, all this while, my mom did not know a thing that was happening to me. And she doesn't even know up to date. She doesn't know up to date. So parents, please, I am begging you in the name of the Lord God, take time to sit with your children. Take time out with your children and ask them about their school life. Don't wait for secondary school. Ask them what happened in school. How was your day? What went on? Are you okay? Create an informal, because I know that especially for teenagers, they are guarded. And another thing for our teenagers, because I was a youth leader for a while, I've heard a lot coming from our black children, especially in church. I've heard a lot where they call us you black African parents. And when they say you black African parents, basically they're describing the harsh way and the senseless way that you or we communicate with them. We don't take time to understand them. We lash out on them. So I just want to encourage all parents, please. I know life is busy, but there's nothing more precious than your children, to really get to know on what is going on in their lives, to sit down and talk with them, not to be quick to punish them, not to be quick to judge them. I know that as a parenting is not easy. I'm not gonna lie. Parenting is never easy, and it probably will never be easy. We all need God's grace. But I'm just sharing these experiences with you so that it will save you the trouble of having damaged goods, quote unquote. It will save you the trouble of having damaged adult children who will now have to take time to repair. And as Pastor Sandy shared with us that it takes a long time to repair a thing than to what did he say? I've forgotten the quote, but you know what it is. To now rebuild something from scratch, it takes a lot of emotion, a lot of time. I have gone for counseling and I'm still seeking counseling. I will still go to see a counselor. I know better now. I will go and seek for a psychologist if I can find a good one who has Christian values. I will go and seek a psychologist because I'm still on the journey to healing. I am not where I used to be. The fact that I'm here on live on Facebook should tell you that the Lord has brought me this far. He has brought me this far. So anyway, so this is like just a summary of that, what happened in secondary school, the bad experience, the mindset that formed, like I said to you, the mindset of abandonment, rejection, poor self-image, low self-esteem, not feeling worthy, not feeling special. And you know what? I'm a multi-talented person. God has given me many gifts, but yet still, it took a long time to be able to accept that I am special. I'm jumping ahead of myself. It took a long time to recognize the giftings that God had placed in me, to embrace them, accept them, begin to walk in them. That even, today I'm live on Facebook. And you see, I'm laughing today, but it wasn't a laughing matter many years ago. It was definitely not a laughing matter. So yes, this is it in summary. I do hope that I've spoken to somebody out there to know that there is life at the end of the tunnel. It's not over until God says it over. Whatever has happened to you makes you a better person. God has got a purpose for you. He's got a destiny for you. He's got an awesome thing waiting for you. God has got something great there. You look at me. I told you about my hair in the UK and how messed up and nappy. You don't want to look at my pictures. I'll still try and see if I can find them to really show you that I'm not lying. I know I'm not lying, but I'll try and find them and share them with you. But there is a future, there's a destiny, there's a hope, there is life at the end of the tunnel. So people, thank you so much for joining me this afternoon, sharing my life story, chapter 2, part 2. I hate boarding school. I'd like to ask if there's anybody that, apart from, is it Flair, who says she also had a negative boarding school experience. I'd love to hear your story if you had one too. And I also want to hear from people who were born in the UK in the 60s and they went through the white foster system, whether you also grew up with a white foster mother. I would love to hear from you, as I really want to get in contact with people like that so that I know where they are today and see how they're doing. It will be my awesome privilege to meet those people. So we come to the end of this live broadcast. We're going to continue next week, this time airport. My location number 4, airport. This one is about a spiritual awakening. This is where God begins to awaken me to his presence. It's an awesome time. You don't want to miss it. This should tell you that no matter what happens to you, God is there. He has not abandoned you. It may seem like all these years that it went on, that transpired in the UK, the fostering, the Ghana, the secondary school, all the horrible experience that I encountered there. You may think that, where is this God? But he was there all the time. So join me next week, chapter 2, part 3, spiritual awakening. Airport is a destination. I love you loads. Thank you so much, Eufema. Thank you, Lady Nkiru. Thank you, Olutoyin. Thank you all for joining me live. Thank you so much. Thank you, Noel. Thank you. Thank you, my brother. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to be with me. I do hope that making sense of my journey. If I'm not, um, I welcome your comments how I can do this much better. But I want to give all glory and honor to God. Thank you so much. Love you so much, Sandra. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All of you beautiful sister, my Facebook sisters and brothers, thank you, love you, love you, love you. Thank you, Lady Ola. Thank you, love you, love you. Mwah. Thank you. Bye.